A sickly and very weak Donald Trump is a panicking as you have protests taking place across the world and MAGA Republicans getting booed at town halls here in the United States. That image I showed you there, about 300,000 people showed up in Australia, in Sydney and elsewhere to protest what is taking place in Gaza and the atrocities of innocent women, children, and men who are starving to death, as Donald Trump has given Benjamin Netanyahu carte blanche authority to engage in these atrocities. Now, Donald Trump is posting through his own account and the GOP official account, "Don't be a panicking, trust Trump. Don't be a panicking." Then they say panicking, noun, dangerous people who can't handle pressure. Well, let's take a look at what happened in Lincoln, Nebraska yesterday as MAGA Republican Mike Flood spoke with his constituents who were none too happy about concentration camps like Alligator Alcatraz, Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans taking away people's health care and the disastrous budget bill, Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans covering up the Epstein files, building themselves $200 million gold ballrooms and ripping down the east wing of the White House, disappearing human beings, engaging in a disastrous trade war against the world. Here, Mike Flood says, but everybody, the Republican Party, now more than ever, we represent you, the working people. That's who we're fighting for. You know what, Mike Flood? The people are not buying it. Here, play this clip.
With all due respect, sir, the Republican Party, now more than ever, represents the heart and soul of the working class.
Now, as Donald Trump says, don't be a panicking. Okay, well, you're the number one panicking, Donald. So last night, Donald Trump and Rupert Murdoch entered into a stipulation to press pause on the discovery in Donald Trump's lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal over the Wall Street Journal article that Donald Trump sent Epstein a 50th birthday card where Donald Trump talks about beautiful enigmas and our dark secrets or something like our secrets will always remain or words to that effect. Remember, Donald Trump was like, I want to take Rupert Murdoch's deposition right away. We're going to pursue this aggressively. Okay, well, guess what? Then that means you get to have your deposition taken also if you take Murdoch's. And I would sure love to have that discovery about Donald Trump's dark past connections with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's what Donald Trump wants to avoid the most. But speaking of Wall Street Journal, their headline yesterday also was, why drug prices for some big medicines will remain high for a longer time. A little known provision in the disastrous bill, they call it the Big Beautiful Bill, lobbied by industry, will cost Medicare billions in missed savings. As Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse writes, bail out Big Pharma, lie about it, repeat. But Donald, I thought you said that you were reducing prescription drug prices by 1,500% or 1,400% or 1,300%. That means the pharmaceutical companies would be paying the people to take the prescription drugs now, wouldn't it? Didn't you announce that back in May? You called it a most favored nations provision where you said that people in the United States would be paying the lowest pharmaceutical prices anywhere in the world. Wait, Donald, was that another scam by you, the gangster, the sexual abuser, the con artist, the fraudster, the felon? Was it just another scam? Where are our Doge dividend checks, Donald? Didn't you say we were all going to get $5,000 because Elon Musk and Doge were saving us so much money? Oh, wait. Doge ended up causing the federal government to spend more money now than it did under former President Biden. And you gutted the federal government and you killed millions of people abroad by viciously and maliciously removing the food assistance that America was providing. You've sacrificed our soft power and our hard power, all in the name of a fraud. And we're not going to get those Doge dividend checks, huh? Well, now you moved on to the tariff rebate checks. Oh, the Doge dividend checks. That's so March. We've moved on to the tariff rebate checks. We're going to tax ourselves and then we're going to give ourselves less money back to the consumers. And you're not even going to do that. How utterly pathetic. But people ain't buying it. People ain't buying it. We saw what happened at that Mike Flood Lincoln, Nebraska town hall. Take a look at this question right here. Hey, Mike Flood, with the $450 million being allocated to Alligator Alcatraz and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to detain people, how much does it cost for fascism? Play this clip.
My question is fiscal. With $450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open Alligator Alcatraz and $600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open more concentration camps and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to illegally detain people, how much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
Now, on the other hand, you have MAGA Republicans like Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth making posts like this. Secretary of Defense has great genes. This is from the official Department of Defense account. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, the official account of the United States Department of Defense. What an effing joke we've become with these ass clowns running the government. But folks, we've got Democrats fighting back. Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom saying yesterday during a press conference we covered live here on the MeidasTouch network, these MAGAs don't play by the rules. They're cheaters. They rig the system. But now Democrats fight fire with fire. Let's go. Here, play this clip.
Things have changed. We're reacting to that change. They've triggered this response, and we're not going to roll over. And we're going to fight fire with fire, but we're going to do so not just punching with the weight of the fourth largest economy, the most populous state in our union, the size of 21 state populations combined, but we also will punch above our weight in terms of the impact of what we're doing. And I think that should be absorbed by those in the Texas delegation. Whatever they are doing will be neutered here in the state of California. And they will pay that price. And we believe public opinion is with our approach. And I appreciate the growing recognition in other states of other governors of like mind and the people of this country recognizing what's at stake. These folks don't play by the rules. If they can't win playing the game with the existing set of rules, they'll change the rules. That's what Donald Trump has done. He's dialing for seats. Familiar because he dialed for votes in the last election. Here's someone who tried to break this country, tried to light democracy on fire on January 6th. He recognizes he's going to lose in the midterms, and we have the opportunity to de facto end the Trump presidency in less than 18 months. That's what's at stake. And that's why we're putting a stake in the ground. We're not drawing lines to draw lines. We're holding the line on democracy, on the rule of law, co-equal branches of government, popular sovereignty.
Going back for a second to that Mike Flood town hall in Lincoln, Nebraska, the town hall erupts in boos after he claimed that Republicans protected Medicaid. They ain't buying it one bit. Here, play this clip right here.
And more than anything, I truly believe this bill protects Medicaid for the future. I believe it.
But folks, MAGA Republicans not just moving to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, they've already moved her into the minimum security facility. They gave her a sex trafficking exemption. She wasn't allowed in the minimum security facility because she was convicted of sex trafficking, but they're treating her like a hero. Why? She's one of Donald Trump's close friends in the 80s and the 90s. The MAGA Republicans, GOP, stands for Guardians of the Pedos. That's what they're doing. But now we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, MAGA Republican. She's sending a letter to the Office of the Pardon Attorney. This is what they're focused on right now during recess. They want Donald Trump to commute the sentence of former Congress member Santos, a 7-year prison sentence for campaign-related charges, the MAGA Republicans saying is excessive, especially when members of Congress who have done far worse still walk free. George Santos has taken responsibility. He's shown remorse. Marjorie Taylor Greene and the MAGA Republicans say they want a free George Santos. So for Donald Trump, Ghislaine Maxwell, George Santos. You wonder who's going to be next. I like that Brazil also is asserting itself against the Trump regime. Remember, Donald Trump has raised the tariffs on Brazil, which means your coffee is about to cost a lot more money. It already is, by the way. You're drinking I see my coffee costing a lot more money. So that Folgers tub, it's like $8 more than it was a month ago right now. But a Brazilian Supreme Court judge placed former Brazilian insurrectionist president Jair Bolsonaro under house arrest for violating conditions related to his alleged coup attempt after Donald Trump tried to pressure the courts to do the opposite and release Jair Bolsonaro as Donald Trump used tariffs as a way to threaten them. Donald Trump is also using tariffs as a way to threaten India, as a way to threaten others. I'll do a whole other video on how furious India is, but India's Ministry of External Affairs put out a strong statement really condemning the United States and condemning the Trump regime. And look, I think that there are certainly issues. I agree that there are issues with India's purchasing of Russian oil. Frankly, Donald Trump has enabled that to occur. So Donald Trump trying to pretend like that's the reason why he is tariffing India because they buy oil from Russia doesn't really pass the smell test there. Donald Trump wants India to give him one of these fake deals, and India just doesn't want to do this, the fake $750 billion deal. I think Modi has a series of relationships, as a member of the BRICS bloc that he's trying to maintain: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And so he has his own geopolitical issues. And, look, I just think that and remember Donald Trump, was it 3 months ago? He was saying that India was going to be his first deal. Anyway, everything with this Trump regime is a complete and total lie. Also, in order to distract from the Epstein files, in order to distract from the disastrous jobs report, in order to distract from how bad Trump's trade war is going, the DOJ has launched a grand jury investigation. They've informally impaneled a grand jury to recommend to indict, to do criminal prosecutions, potentially against former President Obama and those in Obama's administration. So we'll be following that. That's one of the ways that Donald Trump is using the DOJ right now in the most heinous manner. I'm going to do a whole other video that I'll drop after this on the Democratic state legislatures in Texas, in Illinois, and how this has now backfired on the MAGA Republicans, who are really nervous now that the Democrats will gerrymander the blue states. Finally, we've got Democrats standing up. And then we have some of Epstein's victims posting on the federal docket in New York, in the Southern District of New York case where Epstein was going to be prosecuted, where Ghislaine Maxwell was prosecuted, and Epstein's victims are posting letters to the federal judge about the trauma that that Donald Trump and his regime are causing the victims by treating Ghislaine Maxwell like a hero and giving her accommodations and dangling a pardon in front of her. As I've said before, the American people, We never asked for any meeting between Donald Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell or the Trump DOJ and Ghislaine Maxwell, right? What the American people wanted is release the Epstein files, not release Ghislaine Maxwell, not a lying sex trafficker like Ghislaine Maxwell. Release the files, the Epstein files. And if Trump thinks that this Ghislaine Maxwell thing's going to distract us, or having the DOJ open up a grand jury to indict Obama, we know how desperate you look. We know how weak and pathetic you look. The world sees it. Americans see it. And that's why you want to rig these elections. But Democrats are finally standing up. People are standing up. As I've said before, there shouldn't be red state versus blue state issues or Democrat versus Republican. To me, this is about good versus evil. Evil is covering up for sex traffickers, which is what Trump and the guardians of the pedos, what the GOP is doing right now. That is evil behavior. Evil behavior is giving Ghislaine Maxwell all of these perks and benefits. Why? That is evil. Evil is hiding the Epstein files. That shouldn't be a political thing. We should just all agree as human beings. Evil. That is bad. Good should be making things more affordable, okay? Helping people be able to afford homes, afford groceries. That's good. Good should be Donald Trump stopping the atrocities in Gaza. Good should be Donald Trump being able to, or American leadership stopping the war in Ukraine, standing up to Putin. That's good. It's simple, folks. Bad, pardoning George Santos, okay? Bad. Let's not normalize this and treat this stuff like this is some horse race, or like it's the Mets versus the Yankees, or the Phillies versus the Cardinals, the Democrats versus the Republicans. Nah, the way Trump and these Republicans are acting right now, it's fascism. It's vile fascism, and we need to stop it. It's bad behavior. It's evil behavior. It's not just a political thing. It's bad people who are hurting this country and the world. We're going to keep fighting for the people here at the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers, and thank you so much for watching.
New Meidas merch drop! Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.meidastouch.com.